Ericca, what's up?
Nothing. Yesterday I realized that I messed up when I was tipping someone, but other than that, things were good. I ended up giving someone a 2 cent tip by accident. Yeah,
Yo.
yeah. The thing is, I wrote the right amount that I wanted to tip them on the tip line, but when it came to the total, yeah, I didn't. It wasn't up here.
Hold
It
on, you
was not.
realize it? Did you fix it or you realizing this after?
I realized after I was at the light and I said, I was like, "Are you serious?"
Talk about you was at the light.
I was at the light, and then it was really bad because I was driving my dad, and we were at the light, and I gave him the receipt. I said, "Did I do this right?" And he said, "You didn't do it right at all." And I was like, and so then I was sitting there, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then we witnessed like a car crash, and I said, "Okay, it's time to just go home."
It's time to go.
Yeah.
It is definitely time to go.
Yeah. It was a rough day. It was a rough day.
I'm sorry. Yeah. For those of you, well, y'all don't know, we're recording on a Sunday because we have a special guest that we'll introduce in a second. I got my car on Saturday, and the temperature said 110. Mm-hmm. And I got a picture of it as it dropped a little bit, but I got a picture of it as it said 107. And I was just like, and that is the worst time to have leather seats. Unfortunately, I have leather seats.
Ooh.
And I felt every bit of that 110 degrees. But this chocolate doesn't melt so easily.
But who's cooking bacon?
Wow.
I'll be down. I'll be down. I'll be down.
Wow. I feel like you just low-key called me fat, and that might have hurt my feelings if I was fat.
No, because yesterday there was a worm on the sidewalk, and he was moving like crazy. We came back 5 minutes later. He was toast.
He's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, when we've been having a lot of rain, and when I go on my walks, I just see like a worm graveyard, and I'm like, ooh, fishermen everywhere crying. But I ain't do much on Saturday. Saturday, I really relaxed. I watched a good movie with, I can't remember the guy's name. I know Lawrence Fishburne is in it. Dang, I can't even remember the name of the movie. But basically,
it's not a Tyler Perry one?
No, dude worked for the CIA and his wife got killed. But he's an analyst. He not like, I'm in the field action. And then he discovered some stuff and was like, yo, put me in the field. I want to get these mofos that killed my wife. It was good. But that's all I did. I watched movies. I resubscribed to Country Roll. Hey, world, what did it do? Hey, world, what did it do? Hey, world. That praise was for my inner nerd. My inner nerd is back, happy. So now I'm watching Solo Leveling, which I've heard is a really good anime, and they're actually pretty good. And I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen again. But that was my life. Pretty uneventful. Some other stuff happened I'll probably be able to talk about 10 years from now. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a special guest. Ericca, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so our special guest is the founder of 7 Sunday Dapper and Distinguished Gentleman, which was founded on January 13th, 2019, emerging from a veteran service and trauma that led to PTSD and grief counseling, integrating a therapeutic approach into live music entertainment in South Carolina through collaboration. Over the past 6 years, 7 Sunday has highlighted and showcased over 200 creatives, including artists, bands, comedians, hosts, poets, and musicians nationwide, ranging from local talents to Grammy-winning artists. Please welcome Mr. Deon Generette.
What's going on, Deon?
What's happening, Rob? How you doing, man?
Man, I am doing well. Thank you so much for taking some time out your day and your fulfilling life to speak with us and share more with our audience. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. Thank you and Erica for having me on today. I'm excited. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna be good.
Well, those of you, I'm gonna start here. Y'all can support Deon and Pass the Peas right now. So Deon has been working with my guy Carl Van and myself with Pass the Peas. His hosting talents are phenomenal. And my favorite thing about you, I didn't tell you this when I met you because we was working and it was quick, but I like the fact your comedy is like my comedy. It comes natural. You don't ever try. You're one of those people who doesn't try to be funny. You're just funny. And that's why I really enjoy watching you. So I say all that to say, hey, y'all can go on YouTube, check out Past the Peas episode 1. Deon is hosting, and it is a great episode. I watch it every now and again just to take notes and to laugh, man.
Hold on, you talking about the original one?
Yeah, the original one.
Okay.
With the sweet potato souffle.
I might have leaked something, but yeah.
No, that one's out. That one's been out.
For real? That one too?
No, not the other one. No, you talking about the one we just did?
Yeah.
Oh, you can talk about it. You're not leaking nothing. You can talk about it. We've already talked about it. Shoot, Carl talked about it before we filmed it.
That concept is amazing, dude. Like, I don't care if nobody says, like, that should go straight to Food Network or something like that.
Right? So
that's high. That's high.
So what Deon is referring to is Way to the Heart. I've actually promoted it on here, and Way to the Heart is a dating show where the bachelor or bachelorette chooses who they want to date based on a dish that they prepare. They do not see each other the entire time. So they have some conversation, then they go in the kitchen, and then they cook, and then they come back out, and then whoever the bachelor or bachelorette is, they sample the dishes, and then they have to pick a winner based on the dish. And like Deon said, man, like I told Carl, that was brilliant. Because not to knock any other dating shows, but typically people, they just want to go off of looks, and it's like, let's do something interesting and different. Let's not embarrass folks, because some people do that. Not all shows do that, but some like to try to embarrass folk, and we not about that. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely a good time, man. That was a great experience.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell them I want to be on it, but I want to be the guy. But I want all the women to have dips in their elbows. Because I know it's going to be harder to figure out which plate is the best because they can cook.
I'll be damned.
Yo, I'm single now, so I might actually go on the show myself as well. I might have to just be like, yo, if you don't have any bachelors, bro, hit me up. I'll be back up there to do that. And all the food was actually good.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised. And then, like, even the commentary, like, it was all organic and natural, and like they really had some solid commentary about the food or whatever, and like the bachelor really like took the time to think about like how they seasoned the food and prepped it and how they may be in a relationship by I was like, yo, that's dope.
It is definitely dope. We'll talk about that more. We'll talk about that more later on, y'all. But back to the focus of this episode. My first question for you is, who is Deon Generette?
I am a father, a son, a brother, a friend. I'm a creative. I'm a veteran. I'm kind of stoic, quiet as kept. I don't want to sound like I'm being too. I don't want to hype myself up too much, but I'm different.
Okay.
I'm different. Like, I'm just not wired right. And right as it relates to societal norms, like I just am me. I walk to my own beat of my own drum. I don't necessarily do the norm, and it works for me. It's been the most freeing and fun place to be in my life, especially at this point. And I'm just gonna stay there because last year June 10th I suffered a widowmaker, and so like I called it my halftime of my life or whatever. So I'm just gonna live, man. But yeah, all right. That's me. I live. I try to every moment, every opportunity I try to seize and make sure I enjoy it because you never know when it might be the last.
Wow. Yeah, that's true, man. And there's nothing wrong with marching to the beat of your own drum. I definitely do that as well. And I can tell that about you just from meeting you. First of all, seeing you work, before meeting you, and then meeting you and then seeing you work again. I can tell. And for me, I think that's the best way to live, man. Like living to the beat of your own drum, enjoying life, doing what you like to do, and just going after the things that make you happy, that drive you, that motivate you is awesome, man. Like there's one of you. There's only one of you. So why go out there and try to be like somebody else when you're uniquely created?
And that's it. And that's the best. I think that's where everybody tries. Something happens, cause when we go from early childhood, nobody cares and knows about any other norms or society or people's feelings and stuff. And then something happens, I think, right after like elementary school, going into middle school, people are like, you know, I gotta do this and do that. So you kind of shape and form yourself because you're trying to figure out how to create your identity. And then like, you know, and I just like, I never, because of my environment and my family and everything, I just never had that restriction on me. So I just kind of have always been out of pocket.
Yeah, you have. I am definitely, Ericca, both of y'all, we cannot skip over his story. Did you read his story that he put in the thing in his question?
I saw all the way down.
I'm about to ask him a question. Go read it real quick. Okay. It's crazy. Is that real? Deon, did that really happen?
No, man, it's a story I share. You know, every time you go like different, like back when
I'm done with you.
While I went on my own way, you know, they always ask you to do a story and like introduce yourself to the people, whatever. And I was like, okay, because everybody's be like, well, I did, da 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 da. I'm like, this is so dry. And I was like, yo, you know what? This is what happened to me, dog. Like, the person you see standing before you now is not the person that I was. I grew into this person.
Wait.
And then I start with that story. Everybody like, oh my God.
You really did that?
Nah.
Oh, you know what? We're going to get to it in a minute, y'all. Something wrong with you, Deon. You know what? That goes, you do march to the beat your own drum. Ericca, go read. Did you read it?
No, I read it, and that's what I said.
Yo, I almost called him like, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Like, I know this happened when you were a kid, and I know you talked about PTSD. I see why.
Yeah, I was like, golly.
Oh my God, we gonna get to that story later, y'all. We gonna get to it. Dang it. Yo, you are wow. Okay. Well, one, I do want to say thank you for your service. You being a veteran, we can only imagine what you've been through, and you know. What I want to ask you is, what gives you the strength and motivation to continue to strive for excellence despite, you know, you had a widowmaker, you know, you got PTSD, like just past experiences, like what drives you now?
What drives me now? I want to say this before I do that.
Yep.
I'm going to come back to that, and you're going to have to help me with that. What drives me now is the ending, but I want to start with something. Carl is where I met Carl at USC. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I went into the military was to save face. My father was one of the first African-American school board members in my hometown where I'm from. And he was also he was a pastor. Now, where I'm from is Johnsonville, South Carolina. Now, if y'all don't know, that's where Joteka, Edie, and all of them from. But it's only 2,000 people. So, you know, we were 1A school, all this other stuff. But anyway, in this small town, my dad was a pastor, and his church had 500 members. And I just told you, they never.
So the whole town went there. Wow, a fourth of the okay.
So, and then he was also a part of economic council, all this other stuff. But when I went to USC, it was the first time that he, so to speak, I don't say first time, but he really affirmed me. He really told me that he was proud of me.
Wow.
And so I knew that I had something to do there because I was the first in my family to go to a 4-year college or whatever. So
wow.
I had to set that tone or whatever. So when I got there, of course, because I was a PK, but I played sports all year round, basketball, football, track, and, in church or whatever. When I got, I was like, nah, I'm good. So when I got to USC, man, I partied Monday. Hold on, let me Wednesday to Sunday, I partied every day. I was going to class smelling like last night. Just now. Every day. So my GPA went to trash. And even in high school, I was real good in sports or whatever. So football, I played North South. They deemed me to go whatever. So I had tried out this particular year before I got suspended indefinitely. And I made it. I walked onto the team, but I want to say, because it was an anthropology class in Dartmouth. That morning they called, they left the voicemail. I walked to class, I was all happy. I was like, okay, we about to get it back. Let's go. Came back after class, it was like, Mr. Generette, we review your GPA and it doesn't meet NCAA regulation standards. We're gonna ask that you come back out in the spring.
Oh my God.
So I had another semester where I could have saved it, but I just couldn't stop partying, dog. So
wait a minute. You had a life-changing opportunity.
Calling
And the part, well, you know, so to shoot him some bail, you know what I'm saying? We were actually in school at the same time. I ain't start partying until 05 after I pledged, and I did come to Columbia a couple times, and the women, absolutely gorgeous. The different venues, absolutely gorgeous. USC's campus and just the variety, absolutely gorgeous. So, and I got caught up in it too, man. Like I had a bad semester, bro, and I understand, dude. I'm going to Georgia, Denmark, Columbia, Charleston, getting back like 4 a.m. Got an 8 o'clock class. Like it was bad.
Listen, and the refund checks, I didn't even see it first when I came in. I was on work study, and then I met my friends. My friends like, "Dog, you don't get no refund." I'm like, "Refund checks? What refund checks?" Because I was getting a little $1,000. I was like, "That's cool, you know, this is a whole meal." They like, nah. You go to financial aid, telling you need X, Y, and Z. You can get like 8-10 grand a month. I mean, a semester. I said, what? So we like,
don't do this, by the way. If you're listening and you're going to college, don't do this. But go ahead.
And listen, and before because I told you, see, I like to go around the world, come back. But and listen to him listen to Rob on this. If anybody's listening to this, because in this time, you know, I know we live in a different day and time now, but I was dating a bunny. And Bunny told me, she said, "You got all that money. What are you gonna do with it?" And I was like, "I don't know." She was like, "I know you're not familiar with it." She was like, "But you need to take $1,000 to put in Amazon stock."
Wow.
2003.
Ooh, so you're a millionaire now, is what you're. Oh, you ain't do it.
I am not.
You ain't do it.
Ignorant.
Me too.
I was ignorant, but if had I, you know, I think about that thing daily. I was like, you know what? I should have listened to Jenny. Jenny was trying to put me on game. I wasn't listening. But anyway, back to my point. I got suspended, and so they said you gotta, you know, I was out of school for 9 months, and then I could reapply and come back. So I told my parents I was going into the military to save face, to cover up like my student loan debt. I was like, so I'm gonna go in the military as you know, enlistment, and then like after I get my degree, I'm gonna go OCS, and they're gonna set me up. And they're gonna pay off all my student loans. We're gonna be set, whatever, blah blah blah. So of course they bought it. To this day, my daddy, God bless him, so he died in 2009. He don't know, but my mama knew. She was like, "Dude, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, I pulled a doozy on y'all." Be that as it may, I came back to school when I graduated December 06.
Nice.
And so when you ask me what keeps me going, that's my foundation, man. Like since I've been like yay high, I don't know nothing but to keep going. Like I started in sports and I had church afterwards. Like my days consist of work days as of now. Like I never knew what it was to like go home after school and sleep all day. I never knew what it was to like to chill. You know, it was always some extracurricular activity. So like in my natural human body, I'm wired to keep going. But like just for like now at this stage of my life, it's more so about legacy. I want to inspire other people to do great things, or whatever, and things that their purpose to do, or whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I think that I'm wired. I am the march to the beat of my own drum type of person, because as much as sometimes people don't like me, I give people freedom. I think some people look at it, they're like, you know what, he don't care. And like,
yeah,
and that's a place I think people need to get back to, especially when you talk about being creative, because when you don't care, you don't put so many filters on everything.
Yeah, and
so like your ability to dream or think goes out the roof, because you're not like, oh, it's so and so. Well, I gotta consider this or something. You're like, nah, bumper, let's go. Like, and we'll see. You know, let the chips fall where they may. And I've always been that person. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. And I think that's one of the best ways to live, because even in the natural way of man, we like to control everything. And when you control something, you're never able to see its full potential of value, because you're restricting it from like really being. And it's better to like let it just go, and then like see it and love it for what it is. Like, and then, you know what I'm saying? If you need to shape it or move it or whatever, you can do that, but let it be. And I feel like that really ruins a lot of work relationships, business, creative ideas. Like, just let it be, and then like find your place or how that you can gel together with that to make magic. That's you know.
Where's my round of applause? So to his point, that's actually me making that sound, y'all. That's something I did in college, and then this.
I'll be damned.
that was another interview. Shout out to Sheena. That was it from an interview from a friend. So I really resonate with what you just said, because that's what I've had to do with this podcast. Like, started as a relationship podcast. Now we promote positivity. And I'm always thinking of new and creative ways to do something that, one, other people aren't doing, but two, that I enjoy and think are funny. Like, I'm a sound effects guy. So I was like, man, we used to do this in college. Like, we used to make fun of R&B singers. We said all of them used to sound like that back in the day with all that whining and stuff. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna find a way to move that into the show. And then I was listening back to that episode with my homegirl. We reviewed a movie. And she said that, and it was like perfect timing when she said it, and I laughed so hard. And when I listened back to it again, I was like, yo, that'd be a dope soundbite. And I asked her, and she was like, yeah, you can go ahead and use it. And so here we are. So, like, that exactly what you just said. Like, when you just don't care and you like, all right, I am free. What do I want to do? Let me go out here and try this. If I fail, that's fine. Let me go try something else, because you're no longer afraid, like you said, you're no longer afraid to go out there and experiment and try new things, because that's how a lot of some of the most successful people we know became successful. They were like, let me just go try this, and it worked.
and Rob and Ericca, think about this. When was the time that you were in that space? When you were free and didn't care in your youth? Like, we didn't know. Like, you didn't know if you jump off this couch, if you was gonna break your leg. Now you was like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
And like, and it became fun. And I think when we as we begin to mature or grow, and really, I ain't even gonna say mature or grow, I'm gonna say the world begins to shape us, or we allow it to shape us.
Yeah.
We begin to be so, like, cautious of everything. And it's like, yo, if God gave you that, whoever you believe in, whatever planet that in you, it's for a reason. Like, why are you, like, finding all the stops for why you shouldn't do it, or why you can't do it?
Yep.
Why are you, like, looking for ways to not do what's already been planted in you? Like, you put a seed in the ground, somebody gotta water and stuff, but like, when it's in the ground and in the soil, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
And like, we try to like control, and then we get caught up on certain things, because now we're taking on like these people and the way people look at us, or the accolades we get, and we're like, that ain't the ceiling though, or the roof, the sky. That's just like you might have just tipped. You know what I'm saying? You just getting started.
Yep.
Yeah, so staying in that space, man, being a child, like, yeah, you understand the way of the world, you have maturity, but like, in your creative space, or in general, like, being free, like, forget it. Like, I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah.
And I think if creatives now, especially in this day and space, if we start doing that, we're gonna see a lot of beautiful. We are seeing a lot of beautiful things being created. Yeah. The Ways of the Heart is dope to me. And there's some other projects I'm aware of that's going on. Like, that's dope, and I think that comes with just being free. Like, I'm gonna just do it.
Yep.
You know.
You right. Ericca, toss it to you.
Oh, all right.
What you mean? He and I have been talking for like 20 minutes straight. You just over there like, yeah. You know, I don't want people coming at me talking about, you don't never let Ericca talk.
Oh, they say.
Hey, 'cause you know they're gonna say that.
It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, and I made it a point not to get to that point, because I know I can ramble.
Rob, Ericca, they gonna do it. Listen, when I started 7 Sunday, like, people who ain't never been before gave me advice when they would see me out. You ever thought about, like, you ever thought that we might be doing that? You should invest and buy a ticket and come to the show.
Yeah.
So that's the other part of that too. When the kids see your like, people see it and they admire it. And I think in our community we do a terrible job at it.
Oh yeah.
Bruh. You know what? Ericca is still on you.
Okay. So I know that you mentioned your childhood, and you mentioned that everything was very not structured in a way, but almost. And I also kind of wanted to ask you with 7 Sundays, and how I also know that it's like live music entertainment as well. Is there like a particular song or a song track that you go to that catapults you back in time to like your childhood and brings you any type of like nostalgia or just comfort in a positive way?
A particular song. Dang, you throwing me off on that one.
Or just name a couple if you have to. I know that was
That's the problem.
I just partied. Yeah, he got a bunch.
Yeah, that's you.
Me too, especially that era. Whew.
Rob, she said childhood.
Not party days.
I was a child. I was an immature child.
So as you know, because I was a PK, my father, although we I was raised holiness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was ordained Baptist.
Mm.
So like when it came to music, secular music in particular, we didn't, what they call secular music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't always indulge in it, but when we did, and he would, from him and my mom, it would be like Luther.
Mm-hmm.
What's the song? I can't remember the name of the group. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Like he
I'm
be
done.
playing stuff like that.
I'll be damned.
And the OJs or whatever. So those
Okay.
are some of my first like exposures to music. But my first ever cassettes were Bobby Brown, "Don't Be Cruel,"
Oof.
There it is.
the New Kids on the Block, the Ghetto Boys. Was it another one? And Biz Markie.
Wow.
Oh baby. And so like I remember that joint because like that was like and I just realized this too. So I have been telling a lie for most of my life. I'm coming on this podcast and I'm clarifying it today. Apparently, I grew up upper middle class. I didn't realize it because I thought I was like struggling. But we had 2 houses, and my dad was like over these 2, business or whatever. So,
Oh yeah.
And like we ate charcuterie boards in the 90s. I didn't know that.
I just found out what a charcuterie board was like 6 years ago. But go ahead. I just thought I called them shits meat trays. Excuse me.
What?
Listen, man.
We was the only black family with a Volvo, and
Hey, yo, hold on. What man?
You
Hold on. I'm
saying
trying to
you
find the
guys
part
were
where you.
struggling?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the struggle. Like,
Yeah.
Look, I look. See, this is the comparison is a thief of joy. I looked at my counterparts, my white. They was driving trucks and stuff to school and stuff. And I'm like, man, why I ain't doing that? You know what I'm saying?
He ain't lying.
And then going home and eating a charcuterie board.
Gosh, man, I only have Swiss this week and Munster. Is this the Italian salami? Pepper jack, yo. Yeah.
I'm serious. So those are when you say nostalgia, those are my moments. Cause like, I don't care. Like that was like the 80s and 90s was golden, but like just in general as a kid, like it was just I don't know. It was so innovative and free, and I think that's like even now with the transition of technology going from the internet to now, they try to go into AI. I feel like because of our upbringing, our exposure, and the all we did was create. Like we went outside and found sticks and stuff, and like act like we was having a war or something. Like, so our minds are geared to like, yo, let's find a way to do, and then we have the work ethic too. So, But back to your point. Yeah, I would say Bobby Brown. And that fits with what we started with, my prerogative. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do, yo. What's
Yep. That's what I want to do. Oh, man, good times, man.
And so that would be my advice. But my uncles, my family, my mother was always like, she was over the choir and music ministry and all that stuff. And then my uncles, who I would get with, who I got most of my training from. Because I grew up under my dad. I would have been a great kid, you know what I'm saying? I would have been straight, hit, boom, boom, boom. My dad, he really laid it out. He was a great example, all that stuff. But my uncles, like, yeah, they taught me.
You were just well rounded at that point.
That's it. Like, yeah, I was what, 14, 15. I was 6'2". I was talking to grown women. Yeah. Because I hang out with my uncle. And my uncle's only 10 years older than me, so I'll be his sidekick, and we go. So I study him to see how
he said my uncle was, that was your big brother, basically. He's 10 years older. I could imagine what y'all got into. That's not what this episode's about. That will be FME Podcast Uncut coming in 2026. Yes. Yo, so you were an athlete, right? And now I'm thinking about 7 Sunday. What made you decide to focus on like a big part of that being highlighting creatives? Like, where did that come from?
When you started reading it. 7 Sunday is like we call it the best recurring live theme music show. Dapper and Distinguished Gentlemen is another entity where we work with young men from the ages of 10 to 18. With 7 Sunday though, it was birthed out of like PTSD and grief counseling. Mm-hmm. So I was in the Iraqi war or whatever, and then my dad died when I got back. But after my dad died, like we lost like 10 family members like back to back to back. Wow. And I'm talking about like how like when you get off the bus, your close knit community, you spend time on a regular. Like that's who I was losing, like close people. And so it took a toll on me. And so whenever we started going through counseling or whatever, one of the things he said, and this is why I said what I said when I opened up, I got to find a way to return to my place of youth, or my where I feel like I was like the most free. And so in it, she was like, what's your thing? What's the thing that keeps you thriving whenever you're in the dark space? What do you turn to? What do you listen to? Or what do you do? And I'm like, music or movies. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so Seven Sunday now has become, I would say about 3 parts. Where we started with just the live music component where we were featuring independent and national recording artists. Then we had the component where we do, we had the TV show. And then we had the part where we do the campaigns, the commercials, and then we just produced a documentary with the city of Columbia. Well, we're going to do a series, but a documentary with the city of Columbia on the, did you know Columbia's Black Wall Street? And so the whole part of bringing in and highlighting other people, one, because I'm a PK, my life has been centered around service. And so highlighting, giving other people opportunities, because oftentimes in Columbia, a lot of spaces, those people don't have the opportunity to showcase themselves or whatever, or a platform. So what we do at Seven Sunday, we showcase that, and then they come in. You got a set space room, 300, 350 people. You got everybody in there from entrepreneurs to politicians. We got small businesses represented. We give them interview. We create all their branding material, promoting them on social media, and they're able to come to our show, our production, and tell somebody after this, my shows that I've done is anywhere from $25 to $1,250 per ticket. And so that's a big sale resume wise. And so that's what I was trying to do there. And then on the flip side, I ain't the best singer. I'm an entertainer. I'm gonna make you laugh, and I can hit a few notes. I'm kind of handsome. People look at me. That's what I do. You gotta know your role, play your part. That's it.
Yeah, you sound like me. Know your role, play your part.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, you can be wild and crazy, but you got to know yourself and know how to play your part. And that's the thing. You can't get so comfortable. I'm not so delusional that I'm like, you know what, I love singing so much, I'm about to blow this out the water. I'm gonna sing. I ain't highlighting nobody. Seven Sunday is me.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta commend you and give you a round of applause too, because and this is a South Carolina thing, y'all. If you from South Carolina and you've hung out in Columbia or Charleston, and you were around kind of like the same time me and Deon were around, you know how hard it is to make it and maintain around here.
Absolutely.
It's really 1 minute you getting support and love, and the next minute you not. It's I don't know what it is with South Carolina. It's very weird, and it is very tough to consistently have a type of business where you want people to gather and support you. And I'm proud of you for being able to do that, because I could imagine the horror stories you got, and I can imagine the struggles, because it is not easy, because I've worked with people. I've tried to do some things myself, and I'm like, yo, y'all brutal. Y'all are brutal, and don't do nothing wrong.
Look, and it's for real. I got my sound engineer. He came up with a concept that he's about to release or whatever, and he's been calling me and apologizing. I'm like, dog, yes. On my team, outside the videographers and all that stuff, I want to say per event, I'm putting money in at least maybe 15 to 20 people's hand.
Nice.
Top to bottom. But there's, and this is not, and no, you know what? Bump that shit. I am the founder. I am promotions. I am marketing. I'm in over 70% of my business. This is why I've been restructuring and planning, because we're about to start a new series with the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities and FAAC at the CMA. But I have been doing everything, and even performing. I have been putting together the layout. I have been calling and getting an artist. Fanta came on later, and she was helping with that. But I was doing everything, and he was like, yo, it's crazy that you was able to do this. I wasn't using Experience Columbia. I wasn't using radio. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing but God. And I'm talking about I think maybe out of 6 years, we may have had 5 shows where we didn't sell out. One where we were completely depleted, but that was because COVID had come and the snowstorm. But outside of that, people have consistently and consecutively showed up to shows and supported new people. Typically, most of my artists, audience is transplants, people who aren't from Colombia actually. And so yeah, and so they're in there too, but like the multitude is people who like they migrated to Colombia and they want something different. And so with Seven Sunday, you know, we're a themed event. So like we're doing like the school days, the Purple Rain, we're doing Rock of Ages. We don't so like you might not you come with your girl or your people, or whatever, you got on costume, like we Spirit Week. Like, you know, on Sunday, like we just cooling and having a good time. But like you getting to support some artists, you got some small businesses around, you got some politicians, some people in the room, some entrepreneurs you can network with, like it's a dope setup. And so, you know, Cynthia Hardy called us the modern day Soul Train. And so that's who I'm inspired by. Because, you know, I'm from Johnsonville. I just told you I had 2,000 people. We did not have no theater, no arts department, no none of that. Like, so that was my only thing. So when she told me in therapy, like, you got to find a way to go back to your youth, I thought about Soul Train because I would watch that. I'm like, dang, they look like they have a blast, dog.
Yeah,
they
did.
Like,
they did.
Yeah, and so basically, in a sense, I've somewhat used that to glean from to create Seven Sunday, and that's what we are, baby. Yeah.
Ericca, it's me passing to Ericca again.
Oh, I always miss the cues. My fault.
Because you like me, you're listening. Like we actually listen. It's hard when you listen. It's like, dang, and then you want to marinate and respond. It's like, hold on, wait.
Yeah.
But hold on. I do want to
like
pause and do say this. That's it. What you just said about you being so involved in your business and having to be front facing and doing all that stuff and getting the support that you get says a lot about you, because my mentor taught me when I was doing real estate, people buy people before they buy products. So they're like, well, they look at who's behind this, who is doing this, who is executing. So for you to get that kind of support, ooh, man, and yeah, wow. That's a lot of work. I don't think people understand the amount of work that took you to do, man. Sheesh.
It do. It's and so that's why this new series I'm excited because I have the support of the city behind me.
Yeah.
And so like now, because all these years I didn't even know. You know, if y'all listening, they may know this, but you know they have a thing called HTAX, which is like hospitality tax. So if you're bringing in guests and people from out of the city or the county, they have resources available to help you like expand or they'll sponsor your event. Oh. And so but I was doing all this out of pocket, my boy. Boy. Ain't no listen, thank God for the doozy I pulled on my daddy and went in the military. Everyone for that and a few people in the community supporting here and there, man, like we wouldn't have lasted that long because like my first event, like I had never done events. So I was a part of this group called Savagents, right? And it was basically like all of us got together. We were actors, but we like created like this boy band that would do improv skits and perform together at the same time. And so my character's name was No Manners because my grandma used to always tell me, like, you ain't got no manners. And so I was just coming out of a bad relationship where I had got my heart broken. So I was like a whole sexual deviant on. So I was like, I'm getting all of this shit out. Like, And so I was...
I'll be damned.
So I did a show, and one of the prominent musicians in the city was there, and he was like, dog, you got something. And I was like, what? He was like, no, you got something. Like, he was like, you captivate people. People want to listen, they want to watch you. He was like, you're a performer. He was like, people will pay for that. Nobody's doing that in the city. He was like, everybody else is just like real, like, you know, they're a praise and worship leader. They stand flat for what they sing. He was like, they're not engaging the crowd. They're not making people respond. It's different. And he was like, you should consider. And I was like, man, get out of here. Well, the group, like I told y'all, we were actors who did improv that went and started singing. So I'm like, if we're going to sing, we need to rehearse.
Yes.
Right? They like, yeah, let's do it. Somebody called me. They was like, Terrence Young called. He was like, hey, I want y'all to be on this gig. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I got the second book, and I'm like, all right, y'all, when we gonna start rehearsing? They like, we gonna do it. Nothing that. I said, yo, this is my last and final. I said, yo, if y'all don't put me a scheduling list up here ASAP, I'm walking away. I gave them a week, and then next week I started Seven Sunday. I did negative $750. I had to borrow $400 to pay for the first show. Wow. And then I ain't gonna say what numbers we was doing by 21. But anyway, God was good.
Here, world, here, what did it do? Here, world. See, boy, sometimes you got to walk away, man. You got to have those boundaries, you know, and that's one of them stories where they tell you, you know, people always say you can't bring everybody with you, man. Like that, the mentality, you got to have the people with the right mentality around you for that thing to just keep going.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to pull it on your own.
Yes, yes.
Hey, look, and you know, and look, let me say this too, because I don't want to discredit people who were assisting me, but like oftentimes whenever it's not people's vision, you got to get them to buy into it, and until they buy into it or see it moving, they're not gonna necessarily push it like that. And so that was a large part of it, because like I said, I had like 15 to 20 people that was getting compensated for their services, and even in that, for me, I want to digress back to a point. I think Ericka, you asked me this, like. I understand that the ability to create was gifted to me. And so like whatever I'm creating or whatever I'm doing, I don't see it. I see it like when my father would get up and preach, he would ask God to give him direction and instruction. I see it the same way, and I want to be so mindful of what I'm doing that I represent well with what I've been entrusted with, that I try to make sure I deliver. To the point, even if I got a team of people with me and they seem like they ain't moving, like I'm gonna still find a way to try to make it work, because I want to make sure I honor God with what I'm doing. You feel me? Like I want when I want somebody, if they gave me 10, they came back, I brought them 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to turn over my giving. So like I'm just mindful of that. So everything I'm a part of. When I first started, the thing that opened the door for me was Wild Productions. I don't know if you know with Tangy Beatty or whatever, but she saw me at my church play and she was like, I like him, I want to work with him. And that play was my first ever play. I came on as an understudy, but the lead fell out, and then I ended up being the lead role. And that play was nationally distributed in 2014.
Wow.
Yesterday's still going. But I had never been on stage before. You see what I'm saying? But because it was hers and she gave me an opportunity, I gave it the same type of energy that I did for something if it was mine, because I wanted to invest in. You see what I'm saying? Because she invested in me. And I understand the give and take in that. And so I promoted her show, because I was on it, but like it was mine, because it was mine, because I had a role that I played. Some people be like, oh, well, you know, Seven Sunday ain't my name. And he got people coming in where they always like, yeah, but the brand still needs to grow. Like, you still need to share. You still are a part of it. You still are. Your part in this is just as monumental as the overall, because you're a part of it. But I think people come into things like, oh, they ain't mine. Like, I ain't getting da-da-da-da. So it's like, I get in when I get there. I'll do whatever. And it's like, nah, you in this moment, you're showing why God can't trust you with what he gave you, and why you keep coming up with all the what ifs and I can't and I ain't gonna, because you will not do it. If you can't be trusted with somebody else that's giving you a door opener opportunity, what were you gonna do with your thing? You never doing nothing, because you ain't doing it with somebody else's, and you're gonna have to do it with somebody else's first. You have to. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was about to go on a tangent, but I'm not. That's just reminiscent of my podcast. When I think about where I started, who was with me, and then everything I learned from those experiences, and then having to go a period solo and figuring out like, all right, bro, I don't like talking for 20, 30 minutes by myself, and then pivoting and saying, yo, get guests. So now people like yourself, we've had definitely over 100 guests by now. And just learning to pivot, and then like listening to people like you and pulling from you. And then also when it comes to like your gifts and your talents, when you work with other people, you get to utilize and share your gift and talent. They benefit and they do the same thing back. And it is easier to do these things together. Like the load is lifted off your shoulders. You're not carrying everything by yourself. So I just definitely resonate with that. And sorry, Ericka, you were supposed to ask the next question, but what had happened was...
no.
You look like you developed a boy band question, because the look on your face when he said...
Because I was just like, boy band. It was just like, I don't know. I just think that was funny, but it's also very like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like everyone's had that point when they were growing up where they definitely wanted that. And it's just... I just wanted to know, how did that just come together where you guys decided, okay, we're going to be a group? And also, like, and I was going to ask you too, but you already answered it, because I was like, okay, you're a PK. Growing up, I'm like, did you ever play any instruments? But you just said that you were singing. So I was like, okay, so he sings. So okay, I was like, all right, that makes sense. But please, like, dive more into the boy band.
Don't run off of that too hard. But so like I told you back in 2014, we did Yesterday Is Still Gone. So one of the lead guys that were on there was Corey Noel. Is it James? Anyway, Corey, he does a lot of production too. He's done some music videos I've been in.
What?
Yeah, I've done that too.
Send your resume after this interview. I need. Go ahead. Jeez.
I really don't talk about all the stuff I've done because I ain't a braggadocious type fella. I just like to be. But yeah, I do have a little. Jim Hardy, God bless his soul, he said that before he died. He was like, every time I talk to you, you impress me. He was like, it's something more you got to say. But the boy band came from that. It was one of his idea concept, and in which he looked around and saw the guys that we were with, and all of us kind of like would sing here and there, cut jokes or whatever. And he was just like, yeah, he was like, let's do it. And so they called me and it was like, are you interested in doing this concept? And I was like, yeah. I was like, y'all gonna be for real about it? And they were like, yeah. So the first show we did, like again, I was seeing, and then I don't care if they see this, Dap was on it, all them boys. I was investing more. Like when we had rehearsals and we would have vocal coaches and stuff like that, I would pay that. And so when it came down for a night of the show when stuff was over, I got compensated more because I had to be reimbursed. Yeah. But like I was showing them how serious I was about being a part of that process, and I was wanting to do it. But it was fun, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was one of the most fun experiences of my life because I was literally on stage cutting up. Like it gave me the foundation for 7 Sunday low key because it was like, hold on, I can do this stuff and people they think it's funny or they like it, and I'm just having fun cutting up over here. Man, I'll do this all day.
Yeah. Like, yes.
And so that's how that whole thing came about. And so, like I said, we lost, and I think that can happen whenever you have a vision or idea or concept. We lost the foundation of why we exist. And so we put more emphasis on the other thing, and that required energy and effort that I don't think either our schedules or we didn't have the mental capacity to enforce to make sure that it was a success. And so that was the learning lesson from that. But like the process, the event, the in and of itself, man, we had a blast, bro. Like I did a set because we did individual sets. I did an individual set, and one of my songs that I love near and dear, "Break It Down" by Prince. I know Tevin Campbell did it, but that's one of the songs I lost my virginity to. And whenever I can't, if you get a chance, go listen to it. It's a and then like in was it 2005? I don't know if y'all know. Wait,
what song did I lose my virginity to? Was there music? Sorry.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, y'all know Damian Robb. He a Q with the USC.
Nah,
he used to work at the box office, and it just so happened this particular day he was walking in front of the Russ house, and he said, "D." He said, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "Nothing, man." He said, "Man, I got these 6 tickets to Prince, and like ain't nobody want them." He was like, "Do you want?" I said, "Hell yeah," because I'm a Prince man. Like I like die hard. Like everybody will tell you that have been to our shows, Prince show is always more intense because like I love it. Like just in general, I'm gonna have a little spaz moment for 2.5 seconds. I don't normally do this for people, but this nigga was 5'2". He had a perm, and like he played at the Super Bowl, and the rain left him alone. Like he sung in the Super, and his perm stayed together. Yeah, like he wore heels, but like the women that he married and dealt with revered him after. You know how many chicks I done broke up with that dragged me afterwards? They still talking about him like they still dating. You know what I'm saying? Like
that part.
Like some of my love letters, I remember writing my love letter, one of his lyrics or whatever. Like, adore. Like, what she gonna say to that? Like, immediately she getting wet. Excuse me, I probably wasn't supposed to say that. But like until the end of time, I'll be there for you. You own my heart and mind. Truly, I adore you. If God one day struck me blind, your beauty I still see. Love is too weak to define how much you mean to me. What? You gonna give me whatever I want at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, Deon is crazy, yo. Wait a minute. see, 49 minutes. That is the part I'm clipping up for the preview of this for sure. Yeah, I feel you on that. That's some deep.
What like? So that was one of my first. And my uncle, like, I was listening to a song, and like, you know, at that time, that's when Diddy and them was coming out. So it was like taking samples and making stuff, and my uncle would be like, "Nah, hold on, T, that ain't that. He used this, and he played it." So like Prince was in that whole. So like I had those moments, you know. And so when we went to the concert, I ain't gonna never forget this. There's a girl, her name was Alexis. My homeboy Titus is his cousin. I just started talking to her, I was like, oh, this gonna do it right here. Cause like, dog, they say Prince retiring. It's his last setup. Like, this is a winner, right? It's a banger. I know it. Man, I got in there, and apparently I was screaming so much it turned her off. Cause I was screaming like, girl, like, cause listen, when he came from under the stage and he was playing that note, he was like, doom, 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 doom. I was like, and so she was like, I mean, it's good, but it's not. You're doing I'm like, ma'am, I listened to this the first time I released bodily fluids. This is amazing.
Yo, okay, we're moving on. We're moving. Release bodily.
I'll be down. I'll be down. I'll be down. I'll be down.
Oh God. Oh.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Okay, you made me lose my spot. Okay, whew. Deon, I only got a couple more questions. We gonna have to definitely do a part 2 with you. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yo, this guy here. So, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, you said your questionnaire, your organization is in negotiations with Tubi, Peacock, and BET Plus?
So yeah, so we produced over. No, for the TV show we did 3 seasons on TV. So our first season we just did Watch Fox here locally, and so we were getting 30,000 viewers a month. The spot that we came in initially came on at midnight during Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Kimmel, and it was a negative 0.8, and we took it up to a 1.3. And so that was the first season, and we did I think we did 14 or 21 episodes the first season. Second season, we expanded and we did the entire state of South Carolina every Saturday at midnight. And so we were all in, Charleston, Columbia, Myrtle Beach area down there, and all in Greenville. And then the third season, we did all of South Carolina at midnight, part of Georgia, Florida, and then all of the DMV along with South Carolina. And so organically, and this is because like I didn't say this earlier, like I have no knowledge of what I'm doing. Like when I was on, I don't.
That's how it goes.
So,
that's typically how it goes. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah. So when I was on Mary, I did 8 episodes on Mary because I was dating Google, and that's another story in itself. That randomly happened. The girl I was dating at Benedict at the time, I posted something with my mama on the store, and she was like, I know her. And I was like, okay. She was like, I can hook y'all up. I'm like, this is weird, because every year, you always come back every summer, so I'm like, can we rekindle what we had? But anyway, so she was like, I know her. I'm gonna connect y'all or whatever. And I'm like, whatever. So then, she must have said something. So he inboxed me. I'm like, she got almost 1 million followers. I'm like, ain't no way. She probably got somebody managing her social media or whatever. So I was hesitant. So our first conversation was real dry. But anyway, fast forward, we ended up dating. And the TV show, so I was on set, and one of the things she said to me prior to was the guy that she dated prior, he was a musician, so he was trying to get close to her and her family or whatever to come up. And so automatically in my mind, I'm like, I ain't gonna ever try to do anything to try to look like I'm trying to get on, so I'm gonna play the back seat.
Yeah.
But when we were on set and we were going through the process, I was like, hold on. I'm like, the show called Mary and Mary. They the lead people, but they ain't the executive producers, and I understand that part. When you're an executive producer, that means you're funding, you're the main, so they get a portion of that, and then she getting paid this, I get paid this. And I was like, and all you doing is creating people, viewers. I was like, this is the seat I want to be in. I want to produce it, and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And so that's how I got that, and so with the TV stuff, I was just overzealous, and I was glad to be in other markets. I didn't even come up with a structured plan to be okay, we're gonna start doing shows in these markets, and we're gonna do this and do that. I was just putting out. We didn't even have a promotional commercial, but independently, we were reaching over 100,000 views per episode. Like and that was just natural, like, you know what I'm saying? But those didn't transfer to social media. So I didn't come up with a structured plan. I was just moving off the seat of my pants. And these doors just kind of open for me. And so now I'm learning to go back and like come up with a strategic plan, lay it out. What's the vision for this in its entirety? What does this look like? I'm not just making moves this season where there is no plan or contingency after this, so that you know it continues. So you know, that's why I thank God for these 6 years too, because that gave me the opportunity to like learn from those mistakes or whatever, and then also make the connections that now I'm able to come back, not having to only utilize my resources, but I have made connections of social capital that has put me in certain spaces where people now see and they're willing to invest in me because they see like what I did. So even if somebody listening to this and whoever you play it for, if you're in a place and you like ran down, you want to give up, you want to throw in the towel, and it seems like I'm carrying everything and ain't nobody coming in to help, somebody watching, dog. And I swear, like, they see your work, they see your heart, they see your passion, and that's going to drive people, the right people. You know, you don't, because that's the thing too. You don't also want people who come in, they want to take what you have. Some people they see what you got and they want to take it for themselves. But the right people are going to come in, they see your heart and your passion towards what you're doing. They want to invest to help you get to the next space. And so if you out here listening, like, don't get weary in what we're doing. Like, dog, it's going to turn around for your good. You just got to stay the course.
Yes. Yeah, man, listen, I got to add 2 things to what you just said that resonate. Charlamagne the God said this: every opportunity is not attached to a paycheck. Like, gaining someone opening the door for you, giving you an opportunity to work with them, you are gaining experience. Like, that's one thing I really love about my boy Carl and just Pass the Peas and working with people like you. Like, number one, I have no ego. Like, there's no job too big or too small for me. Whatever needs to be done, let's be done. Like, I have my niche and the stuff that I do on the regular for Pass the Peas. But when there's little odd stuff that needs to be done, like, I'm totally down because I understand the vision. I see where things are going and I have no ego. Yo, some of y'all need to put your pride to the side and really just show up and then just help. Like, just help. Like, when we were shooting Way to the Heart, like, I was going out getting extra ingredients. I was picking up food and stuff like that. That, first of all, I like running around. That's just fun to me anyway. But there's no ego involved. I'm like, this is moving the train forward. This is the role I need to play right now to keep moving this thing forward. And then one day somebody else will be doing it and I'll probably be the one telling them to go. Like, that. That's all I care about is like, yo, how can I help you? The flip side to that is, if you are the one doing all the work and stuff like that, do not be afraid to ask people for help. Like, I be having to do that with Carl. I'm like, man, what we got? Okay. I was like, well, why are you doing all that? Give me them 3 things right there. Let me take that off your plate, bro. Like, you got a whole family you got to worry about. Like, you have to, and with that, you know, I have to make sure I do what I say I'm going to do because he's trusting me with something. Like, we talked about that earlier. That's like, good. He's trusting me with what, you know, I say I'm going to take on because this is his vision and what he's trying to move forward. So, you know, you don't want to take on something that you know you're not going to fulfill. But again, lose that ego. Remember, every opportunity is not attached to a paycheck. Experience just, it's irreplaceable, man, especially when you can get it for free, man. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in there, man. Like, I really resonate with what you just said, man. That hits home.
Yeah, everybody want to be a star, but everybody don't want to shine.
Woo!
Like, you know, everybody want to be Jesus, but nobody don't want to die. Like, you have to, you gotta serve. Like, you gotta serve. Like, I don't care what. Like, when I started with Tangino, like, people probably would like, because I looked at other markets or whatever, the money or whatever. Like, they would say probably it wasn't worth it, but she wasn't at the place where she is now. Like, she grew to that space, but like in that space when you get in. Like, sometimes shining is helping. Sometimes shining is going beyond the mark. Sometimes shining is like, I'm going to do this even though this ain't my job. And it's like, you're gaining experience freely, even though you're not being compensated to the numbers. But in time, them numbers, that money come back. That's what I'm saying. Like, in people's mindset, not everything is about the bag. So if you ain't nothing started from the bottom and it was a bag already. If it is, I promise you, it's some major, only white people doing that.
Yes.
My daddy gave me $1 million, $500,000 as an African. Most African Americans are not coming in a situation with a buttload or some cushion of money that's going to help them fund their thing. So everything starts from a serving standpoint, and then it grows.
Yep.
But you never know, like in your part of serving, like the seeds being planted in you that help you birth and come out. So that's why I say like everybody want to be the sun, but nobody don't want to shine, because you're going to have to be cultivated into that space, and it ain't going to be just I showed up and I got it. Like I didn't even know the gifts that I had, but because I believe because of my upbringing, church, sports, and then like I said, Tangi opening the door in this aspect for me, it showed me, hold on, dog, you funny. You people like to listen to you. People will come watch you. I didn't think about that before, because all it was like I was in church, I was doing this, and it was like whatever. And I didn't realize my impact. And so like even in that, in your place of serving, you'll learn like, hold on, these are things that I have that I'm not even aware of. Like by just simply stepping in the gap. You know what I'm saying? And it's just as valuable as, like I always tell my people, yeah, okay, in theory, I'm Beyonce. But guess what? If I don't have a stage, if I don't have a mic, if I don't have a team, if I don't have this, all these things work together. So there's no one thing greater than the other. And in that, that's where we win. But if you come in the mindset, well, I got to get this, I got to, well, go ahead and get it then. Because most of the time, you ain't going to ever get it that way. Like, you're going to have to rely and work with other people. That's just what it is.
Yep, and you said it, man. Social capital. Y'all have no idea. Connections, man, I'll take connections over a bag any day, because y'all have no idea. Connections have literally just saved my life, and working with other people has just taught me so much, man. So, again, trying to do it on your own, good luck with that. Ericca, I'm going to toss it to you. I'll let you ask your final question, and then we could let this man get back to his life.
Oh, yeah. So my final question, clearly and obviously, you're very much successful from 7 Sundays starting out, and also just having that consistency, having that drive and that strength to basically continue and pour into this so that it could grow to be something. And it has, by the magnitude of it. But also, where do you see it in like the next 5 years with the trajectory that you're on?
In the next 5 years.
Or maybe not even the next 5 years, just in the future. Where do you
I got an answer.
Okay.
I got an answer. My plan and goal is to, one, continue to produce. Two, with what we doing, I just told you we got all those episodes. He mentioned Tupac, Tubi, Peacock, and BET Plus and whatnot. So I've connected with, by way of relationship again. And watch this. I was on set for a pilot for a TV show in Atlanta. Met this young lady. She works with Ruth Carter. If you don't know who Ruth Carter is legendary for costume design. Every movie as Black people we have watched, probably from our youth to now, Ruth Carter is the costume design for that. And so she was working with her, and I was on the set for Star for Queen Latifah. I was a police officer, and the girl at the time was there, and she said, "Yo," she was like, "Your energy is great. Like you made people in the room feel comfortable. Like I saw that you're in Atlanta. Are you interested in working on Black Panther?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And so she said, "Well, you got to be here in the morning at 7:30. You're going to be a stand-in for Forrest Whitaker's character, Zuri." And I was like, "Oh, for real?"
Wow.
She was like, "But when you go on set," she was like, "don't be fan crazy or whatever." I was like, "You know, they ain't my MO." She was like, "No, I'm just telling you because people do it and they come on, they get kicked off." She was like, "Just act normal. You going to take his..." I had his face. I was in Forrest Whitaker's room, Chad's room. I met him, like, he was doing his stunt stuff. Like, I sat beside Angela Bassett and had a conversation. Like,
wow.
Ryan Coogler, like, all of us, like, old girl. What's her name? Oh my God, I can't remember. With the skin look like my phone, so black and pretty.
Yeah.
Lupita.
Lupita, yeah.
Lupita,
yeah. Wow, bro.
Let me tell you something. You ever seen like a black car you like, and it's been washed thoroughly, and like they
that shine, smooth, like, just
Look, the light had shined down when we were sitting there, and it just hit us. I was like, "Oh God!"
Professional, gotta be professional.
But it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. But like, I met her, and that just because of me being who I was and being authentic, that door opened. And so that's going back to social capital. I didn't know she opened that door and that was great. But then like later on down the road, she started paying attention to Seven Sundays. She called me. She was like, "Hey, are you interested in taking this to another level?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "What's your vision for it? You planning on going to TV, apps?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "I know somebody in distro." And I was like, "So what's your deal? Because you ain't calling just to give me that on GP." She was like, "All I want was like 5%." I was like, "Cool." And so like so going to your question, Erica, that's gonna happen because I've been sitting totally with that for probably about. If I be honest, I had the first conversation a year and a half ago, and so I've been standing on that because like I'm trying to see how to put everything together. So like now, since that moment, we produced a documentary for the city of Columbia on Did You Know Columbia's Black Wall Street, and now we about to do a series on that. And I'm trying to figure out how to get that also because we're talking about Dr. Donaldson was a narrator from the University of South Carolina Civil Rights and Research, and so we got that connection SCE So I'm trying to get that in the curriculum because I know the impact of that for kids that see because the new era I think we're going into, entrepreneurship is going to be key because they're going to have to find their way to do something outside of the stereotypical stuff like going to school, doing stuff like I did with no desire, no plan ain't going to work. Like you need to be strategic about it or start straight out of high school. I started this business. Yep. So to implement those thoughts and those minds and put that as well on those platforms. But the overall vision for Seven Sunday was to be a production company that we featured the independent and national recording acts through themes, but in different markets. One would be in South Carolina, another would be like either in Texas or either New York, and the other in LA, and then one internationally in Paris. And so what I wanted to do was create where like I had these spaces. We're producing, we're still shooting, we're still getting content, but we're bringing in those acts. So like how, Rob, you probably remember, Erica, I don't know how young you are or old you are, but
she's super young. She don't know. She might know.
Okay.
She got an old
she might
soul.
Know the comedy house back in the day used to be off St. Andrews, right?
Oh, she ain't gonna know that. She's not from down here.
Oh, okay. Well, the comedy house is a comedy club, but they would have like on the weekends. Let's say your favorite comedian Mojo now, who's killing on social media. Well, let's say they have him for a weekend. They had him for like X amount of shows. So you come and we'll have like these independent artists. We may have some Grammy-winning artists or whatever, and they be performing, but like it'll be like that setup, like it's a 7 Sunday event, but you got this person here this weekend, so and so performing, but you got them in this place over here, here. I'm getting all this content, and we're in internationally and locally, but we got this pipeline what we're doing with distro. But we also got these movies we're making. Like we produced all our commercials for our TV show. Just different, you know what I'm saying? Like so that's that part of that. With Dapper and Distinguished Gentlemen, I'm already working on community initiative. So back home where I'm from, they don't, from a rural town, they don't have that stuff like that. Yeah. So we used to have a swimming pool. They don't have a swimming pool. They don't have a park outside. They don't have a gym they can go through.
Dang.
They don't. Yeah. So like when it comes to like those kids are going to turn to violence. They're going to turn to those things. So this community center is one of the things that that's on my list to get done before I leave this earth as well. And then outside of that, man, I'm gonna get married. It's about time. I've been out here for a minute. Yeah, like that, like in the next 5 to 10, that's what it's gonna look like as it relates to that. Now, outside of that, whatever God I got, that's what it is. Cause like all of this right here, like 7 Sunday was an idea. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna have fun. I did not intend for this to be what it is.
Yeah,
I didn't, and I want to say that. I hope whoever hear that, like, don't be like, don't. And I know everybody don't believe this, but don't despise small but humble beginnings. Like you don't know, like. When you do something from a pure place, you don't know what's gonna come from that. You don't know how that seed gonna come out, dog. Like,
yeah. Oh, we lost them. All right, we patching in. I'm just letting y'all know we patching in. This is just how I do this. But Deon's phone died, which I figured. But you were saying, sir, when you plant that seed and do things from an organic place.
Yeah, when a farmer plants the seed, like, he might have put it in a row, he did all this stuff or whatever, he's going to water and do whatever, but, like, you never know what's going to come from that seed. You never know, like, so when you do it, and you do it from a pure place, an authentic place, a genuine place, like, you never know that thing that you're thinking is just an event could morph into a whole business that's sustainable, or you're giving people opportunities, giving, opening doors and telling stories and going places you never thought you was going to be in because it was never even on it was never on your script. It was some things I do believe are godly divine, and like some things I feel like this is because I ain't never that was my first time we did it. It was just to have an event and bring people together. That was it. Like it was gonna be my therapy. I was gonna have fun, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then here we are. I was tripping on even like with USC. We talked about USC. I chose theater because the girl I was talking to said I talk too much and I make people laugh. I ain't go to school. I ain't go to school, but like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do theater and I'm gonna start 7 Sunday and make these and do this, and none of that was on my mind. I ain't Black Panther, like I told you, that was a call. Mary, I was dating a girl. Yeah. Yesterday is still going. She saw me at church. What other opportunities I had? There's a few other things I did.
They just happen.
And so sometimes I just think when you just move, when you're fully, and this is why I want to go back to where we started with. When you're really authentically yourself, and you move from that space, I feel like God, the universe, whatever you ascribe to, is like, oh, no, now you're being what I need you to be and who I need you to be, and at this place is freedom, because you ain't thinking about like everybody else or how this is gonna affect. Like, of course, I'm mindful of my kids and my family because I want to make sure I leave a solid legacy. But you ain't thinking about the pressures of the influences of how people might feel, what's going on. You just being, and you get so comfortable in this joint. You like, yo, if you don't get with it, get gone. It'll be all right. Hey. And I think, I think everybody like almost like this, and I'm gonna be quiet because I know we got to shut up. Relationships. All right, you go to the table. You meet somebody, you digging them, y'all like, dang, I really like this. But like, you know how people are talking about the representative?
Yep.
Not me. When I come to the table, if I can say this, I'm ninja emoji. Because I want you to be like, you know what?
I'll be damned.
I can't deal with this. Like, because guess what? We gonna save both of us time.
Yep.
And I think like when it comes to being creative and doing stuff, like we have to get to that place of authenticity where like, I am being, and like what's supposed to find me is going to naturally have to come to me because I am being exactly who and what I was created to be in this space with like unapologetically. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody or take advantage of nobody, but I am simply being all that I am and know to be, and that's it. And so I think that's where when we get to that space, like I think God moves on our behalf because it's like, yo, you're pure. Mm-hmm. You return back to being a child. Like you ain't bringing in what Nicki Minaj say and so on and so forth or whoever. Like no, like, you are just being you. And I think that's one of the things I think that that is my greatest accomplishment in life.
We cannot end on a better note than that. Deon, is there anything that we have not talked about that you wanted to make sure you wanted to share with the audience, or is there anything that you have coming up that you would like to promote before we get up out of here?
Well, on Tuesday, July the 29th, we will be at the Nickelodeon on 7 Sunday in the city of Columbia. Is sponsoring a summer camp viewing for Did You Know Columbia's Black Wall Street. It's $5. You can go online and do it now. It is open for adults now. It's in the morning, so if you have a job, it's kind of a wrap. You're going to get it. But there are other opportunities that will present themselves in the coming future. We're about to start a series with 7 Sunday with the city of Columbia and FAAC, as I mentioned before, where we're featuring, still doing the same concept, but the emphasis this time is more so on small business entrepreneurs, because in this regime and under this administration, a lot of things are shifting. And so we got to find a way to come together, glean together, and use resources or show people that there are resources available to sustain your small businesses in this part. And at the same time, we're going to be featuring independent artists, painters, spoken word, all that stuff. And we're going to have some viewings of the film, and all this stuff is going to be hosted at CMA. So there's going to be like a thread. So like when we start in September, we're going to keep going for 6 months. There'll be an announcement with all the events that we got going on for that time. Am I missing anything else? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. Other than that, I think I'm about to walk into the political world. I found a bill. Well, you know what? I ain't going to say political world. I'm going to advocate for a demographic of people And I found something I think that will be great, that will work on both sides and affect the family structure as a whole, and somewhat bring resolve to some of our issues in our community.
Wow, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Deon, thank you once again for joining us. Y'all already know we love y'all. All of Deon's links will be in the description. Go follow him. Go support him. Check out his work. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Y'all already know all our links will be there in the description. FME_podcast on Instagram, FMEpodcast.com. And until next time, take care of yourselves physically, mentally, and financially. We'll catch y'all. Peace.
Yeah, Rob and Ericca.